Plain today. Birthright citizenship. What the heck is it? What does the 14th Amendment have to say about it? What did the founding fathers really intend with regards to the 14th Amendment and this thing called birthright citizenship? It's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to put it in very simple terms for you. President Trump has vowed on the first day of his presidency to use his executive pen and do away with birthright citizenship. What does that mean? What did the founders really intend regarding all of it? I can tell you one thing, you're not getting the truth from the legacy media nor the radical liberal talking heads on social media platforms. I'm going to give you the truth today. We're going to talk about it in 30 minutes or less. Ladies and gentlemen, the right side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right side with Doug Billings, right side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to the Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back. The second show today. Good to be with you again. And the word of the day, birthright citizenship. Wow. A lot to talk about. Going to put this whole thing in very simple terms for you. Don't worry. Even if you're from Raytown, Missouri, you're going to be able to understand what birthright citizenship is by the time we're done with this 30-minute or so episode of the program. I don't think it surprises anyone on the right side, at least, that this is crazy. Where we have evolved with regards to birthright citizenship is absolutely kookville. It has nothing to do, the current application of it has nothing to do with the original intent of the founding fathers. Not one bit of the founders' original intent is coming through to you from the legacy media or the radical liberal elected class or talking heads in this country. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to have deportations. We are going to have massive deportations, the D word. And it is going to involve a lot of what is referred to as birthright citizenship. And the radical left and the legacy media continue to get this wrong and to feed you by way of their broadcasts or their talking heads out on social media, misinformation, false information, blatantly false information about the 14th Amendment and people from other countries stepping foot in here, having children and claiming that they're United States citizens. President Trump has confirmed that he will, on the first day of his presidency, he's going to take out his executive pen and sign an executive order that will end birthright citizenship in the United States. Now, it's not going to be just that simple. I'll get to this in a minute. The radical left legacy media, who, keep in mind, who has lost 75% of their primetime audiences since the election, continue to spiral downward in that loss of audience precisely because they do not tell you the truth. And they spin things into categorically false arenas. And that's why their numbers are dwindling. And I don't know about you, I have not seen one. That's not true. I saw Brian Williams, actually, on an interview, do a lot of good, intellectually mature self-reflection about why Democrats lost in this election. But that's the only time since the election that I've seen anyone from the radical left offer any kind of serious self-reflection as to why they lost the presidency and, in fact, lost many seats in the House and in the Senate. They just either they're not capable. Some of them are doubling down on the nonsense that they put out there. But when Trump ends birthright citizenship, it's not going to mean that every single person who was granted citizenship in that way is going to be deported. All right. There's going to be what they call a grandfather clause in this thing. So the new birthright citizenship ending date will probably be sometime over the last 4 years. During the administration of Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris. Hi, Voodoo Queen. Raytown, Missouri. I grew up in Grandview, Missouri, right next door, and so we have a friendly banter back and forth with Raytown. So, Rush Limbaugh had Rio Linda, California. I've got Raytown, Missouri. So we will continue to poke fun. Okay, Voodoo Queen, I see you there in the chat over on YouTube. Thank you for being out there. And I see you guys on X, and I see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. So this grandfather clause, with regards to ending birthright citizenship, people born before a certain date, probably sometime during these 4 years or before, don't have anything to worry about. And I can tell you because there have been posts, social media, liberal influencers and news pundits and so forth are absolutely just saying the most kooky things, intellectually immature things. If President Trump ends birthright citizenship, that means Barron and Melania have got to go because Melania is an immigrant and Barron was born of that immigrant. Or even Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka are all going to have to leave because their mother was an immigrant. I mean, all it is clickbait. I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're smarter than that. It's just clickbait. They want to get a reaction from you so that you click on that and read it. It's ridiculous. Please disassociate yourselves from anybody who suggests that that's true, that Barron Trump is going to have to leave the country because he was born from Melania Trump, who's an immigrant, if Trump ends birthright citizenship. It's absolute nonsense. Trump is clear about it. He's going to end it. He's going to end it by executive order on the first day of his presidency. All right. Now, I'm going to come back to birthright, but there's a couple of things I want to tie together here. One of them about Tom Homan and his role as border czar. There are going to be deportations. Tom Homan has been just as clear about that as President Trump has been about ending birthright citizenships. And Homan says in 3 steps. First, they're going to secure the border. Second, they're going to initiate the deportation process. And then 3, they're going to look for and find these missing 300,000 children that are being trafficked because the radical left liberal Democratic Party, Communist Socialist Party in the United States enabled these kids to come over here. The radical left Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, is responsible for the stripping away and the ruination of human dignity for every one of these people, especially the children who have traversed not only deadly terrain, but have had to face deadly cartels in order to get here. They will tell you that they're the party of compassion and of human dignity. BS and BS. They are the party of inhumane ruination of human dignity. Homan is going to go after it, and arrest, detain, and deport is going to be the process. And it will involve camps. You've got to be able to say it. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Camps. There are going to be deportation camps. Camps, 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 camps. It's a friendly sounding word. And these camps, mark my words, will be 100 times more dignified than what the radical left Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, put these illegal immigrants through by encouraging them to come up through our southern borders and face rape and trafficking and murder. These camps are going to be humane, dignified. Families will remain together. There's going to be free medical attention, free food, free water, free clothing, shelter. It's all going to be set up. Everything, even entertainment will be provided, TV and gaming systems and so forth. Parents are going to be given the option. Do you want to be deported with your children or not? It is your choice. It's not like the government is going to come in and rip away families. This decision will remain where it must with the parents. If parents have come here illegally, and if they've had children during these past 4 years, Tom Homan has stated that he's going to direct his department to give parents the option to either leave with their children, without their children, or to take their children with them. It's the parents' choice during the deportation process. And as I've told you before, we have got to begin to get ahead of this issue and this narrative, because the radical liberals and the legacy media are going to begin to lie about it. In many cases, they already have. The deportation process will be much more humane than anything that we've seen over the last 4 years, much more humane than anything the radical left party has offered these people. As I said, deadly terrains, deadly cartels. On the southern side of the border down in Mexico, there are trees they call rape trees, where they throw the undergarments of women, children, and boys in these trees. These people, the women, the children, the boys, have been raped and murdered, sometimes trafficked, and they horribly and medievally and brutally abuse these people, and they, as a sign of a trophy, will throw their undergarments up into the branches of these trees, rape trees. This is what the radical left commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, has put these people through. And Tom Homan and President Trump and the MAGA movement are going to see that the human dignity that was stripped away from these human beings from the Biden administration is going to be restored to them. Don't buy into the lies that you're going to see. Oh, you see, I told you, Trump is Hitler. And these camps, this is Auschwitz 2.0. Get ahead of it, begin to countermeasure it, don't buy it, and fight back and speak up when you see it posted. In an interview that President Trump gave with NBC's Kristen Welker, she attempted and failed to quote the 14th Amendment and said this, that the 14th Amendment says, all persons born in the United States are United States citizens. Well, thankfully, there's a lot of people out there that noticed the inaccuracy of that. It's not true. That's not what the 14th Amendment says. Kristen Welker gave what can only be described as a radical liberal interpretation of the 14th Amendment. And Kristen Welker, she presents misinformation all the time, and she illustrated for all of us why the legacy media has lost upwards of 75% of its primetime audiences, because people in America are tired of the spin and the lies that the legacy media puts forth. CNN, NBC, MSNBC, all of them, 75% of their primetime audiences gone. The American people are tuning out the mainstream media. The mainstream media, for all practical purposes, and you know this, is dead. And on its death certificate is listed as cause of death, suicide. They've killed themselves. They've done it to themselves. Back to the 14th Amendment. Here is what the 14th Amendment says, word for word, regarding citizenship. It says, and I'm quoting directly, all persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. Now, that second portion, that second critical conditional phrase, is conveniently and almost always ignored or misrepresented by the legacy media or any advocates, liberal or otherwise, of birthright citizenship. Let me take it apart for you. So the second phrase in that sentence of the 14th Amendment says this: and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. So let's take a tourist or an illegal immigrant, okay? A tourist or an illegal immigrant is not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America. They are subject to the jurisdictions of their home country or their country of citizenship. And so therefore, they and their children cannot become citizens of the United States simply because they're born here. This is what I continually say. It's so important that we get back to the original intent of the founding fathers, something that the radical liberal commune socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, does not have any interest in doing. I mean, they want to not only strip away the divine providence of God, they want to strip away the intent of the founding fathers. I think you all can see that. The founding fathers had no intent to allow illegal immigrants or any other demographic group of people to come to America, have kids, and those kids are just magically United States citizens. It was not their intent. Studying just a little bit of history would do the legacy media some good. And then they could try telling the truth about what they've learned from an honest study of history. The language of the 14th Amendment comes from an 1866 Civil Rights Act, which said, quote, all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power would be considered citizens. So we need to talk about that. What does that mean? I'm going to read it again from the 1866 Civil Rights Act. All persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power could be considered for citizenship. Okay, now let me introduce two terms. I assume because you, members, ladies and gentlemen, you who all listen and watch this show, you are members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land. So I'm not pretending for a moment that you have not heard of these terms, but for the person who might be new to the program or the person who needs a little help, two terms: territorial jurisdiction and political jurisdiction. So here's what they are. And again, let me use an example of an illegal immigrant. Ahmed. Ahmed is an illegal immigrant from Iran. Ahmed is subject to, when he comes over here, illegal or otherwise, Ahmed is subject to the territorial jurisdiction of the United States, inasmuch as he's not allowed to break our laws, he's got to follow our laws, and he's got to abide by norms and standards within the society, okay? But especially the laws of this country. Ahmed does not have free power because he's an illegal immigrant to break the law. Ahmed, however, is not subject to our political jurisdiction because he's not a citizen of this country. Ahmed is still subject to the political jurisdiction of his country of citizenship. That makes sense? Territorial jurisdiction, law and order. No matter who you are, no matter what status you have, illegal or legal, you've got to follow the laws of the United States when you're in the United States. That's territorial jurisdiction. Political jurisdiction is when you're a person from another country. You're not under the United States political jurisdiction. You're under the political jurisdiction of your own country. So Ahmed is still an Iranian citizen. Ahmed hooks up with a girl. They have a kid. Those kids are not automatically United States citizens. At least they're not supposed to be if we follow the Constitution and the intent of our founders. The 14th Amendment clearly states that someone has got to be under the United States political jurisdiction to be considered for citizenship, and in order for their children to be considered for citizenship. So this debacle of birthright citizenship in complete misinterpretation and misrepresentation of the Constitution falls at the knees and the feet of one man, and that man was a Supreme Court Justice, William Brennan. Brennan snuck a little footnote in to a 1982, not all that long ago, into a decision that said illegals could come over here and have babies and they would be citizens. So that's what Brennan did. Now, he broke the intent of the founding fathers when he did so. So President Trump, here's what's going to happen. On day one of his presidency, he's going to write an executive order that will outlaw and eliminate birthright citizenship. That will immediately be challenged by liberals, and it will go to court. And within a few months, it's going to wind up in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And the Supreme Court is, in my opinion, this particular Supreme Court is going to look at this, and they're going to interpret the 14th Amendment as intended by the founding fathers, and they're going to overrule the footnote that was put in there in that 1982 decision by Justice William Brennan, because he was unable, Brennan was, I don't know for what reason, maybe he's just a radical liberal, but he did not, with any credibility, read and understand and comprehend that second qualifying sentence or clause within the 14th Amendment, that you have got to be under the United States political jurisdiction in order to be a citizen. There is no illegal immigrant in this country, because they're illegal, who's under the political jurisdiction of the United States of America. They're under the territorial jurisdiction. They've got to follow our laws or they'll go to jail, right? We've seen that. So that's the big difference. That's the debate that's happening. That's what's we're going to win. We are going to prevail, especially with this court, the court that sees the intent of the founding fathers. And look, this is going to be presented in a court. So there's this grandfather clause, as I said. It's not as if we're going there, people that have been here for 60 years, I doubt would have anything to worry about. I don't think that people that have been here for 20 or 30 years are going to have anything to worry about. But I think that the people that have been here and were born over these last 4 years, perhaps the last 8 years, they're going to have something to worry about. And there will be no safe quarter for any of these illegals. We've got to get them all out. I don't care if it's grandma who comes and goes to work every day at the local Quick Mart or whatever. She's got to go. And the camps, say it with me, camps, there's going to be camps. And the camps are going to be humane and dignified, medical attention, water, food, clothing, entertainment, all of it. And we've got to vet these people. We've got to understand who they are, so that when they do leave, and if they want to come back, they can get in line and we can get them in here and probably even expedite that process for them. But we've got to know who they are. There's got to be a sense of law and order about this. And so we get them out, and they're going to begin with the criminals first. They're going to go to the jails, Tom Homan is, and they're going to get the criminals, the illegal alien criminals. They're going to get them out of here. Then they're going to begin to go through the streets, and they're going to find people, and it's going to be a roundup. And begin to wrap your head around that. And we will get them out. And keep in mind that we, MAGA conservatives, have the moral high ground concerning all of this. It wasn't us who invited these people to traverse the deadly terrains and the cartels and all else and be subject to rape and murder and trafficking in order to get here. They won't have to face any of that during the deportation process. None of it. So you tell me which political party in America has ripped away the human dignity of these poor people? It is the radical left communist socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, who has done that. And they've done it on purpose. The entire reason that they've opened these borders, primarily to build a new electoral base for themselves, but also to dilute the American identity. And in the process, they've put these people literally through hell on earth. It is one of the most egregiously immoral actions that has ever been put forth by a political party in any country on this planet. And so the American people see this. We, MAGA conservatives, are ushering in back the divine providence of God and the original intent of the founding fathers. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that and everything right about that. All right, good. Birthright Citizenship. There it is. Share the program, please, ladies and gentlemen. Share this. 22 minutes or so is what we've been going here. So that's not very long. Anybody could watch 22 minutes. And the reward is you get to become members of the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land, just because you watch the program. And please consider prayerfully heading over to dougbillings.us, my website, dougbillings.us, and setting up a monthly recurring donation so that I can continue to bring you this program. I never charge you for the show. I just ask that you help me to produce it, and it's how I make a living. It's how I get to be with you every day. And dougbillings.us is where you can do that. Set up a monthly $5, $10, $15, $20 monthly recurring donation, and that would be helpful so that I can continue to bring you the truth that you can't find anywhere else. All right? All right. Hey, guess what? Love you. Love you all. Merry Christmas season to everybody out there. I'll be with you many times before that day rolls around. Christmas is my birthday. I'll be with you many, many times before then. We're all in this together, my friends. Believe it, for the Republic. God bless you. Cheers.